Ndobeko Sishii reps the 031. He's the artist that I'm speaking to today, and he's a multi-hyphenate, so you might know him from Gomorrah, but some of you know him as the alt boy.
I'm not gonna make music that makes me feel like I'm part of some sort of culture when I know what personally speaks to me more than anything else. And so when I put out Ngeke, the response for me was, you do want to hear songs like this. You're lying. Like, you're just not gonna play this when you're auxing because it's not gonna make you look cool. Yeah. But when you go home and you're staring at your ceiling and you've got your AirPods in, you're gonna be listening to this. That's who you are though. It's not who you present yourself. And for me, that's what it's about.
In this conversation, we're gonna unpack his roots as a musician, some about his acting, and also just see where he's going to next. Welcome back to a Helen Herimbi-Moremi podcast. I am Helen Herimbi-Moremi, and this is the space where I really talk to musicians who make me go, I'm really, really intrigued by the artist that we're going to be speaking to today. And I hope that you are too. So leave comments and stuff and let me know what you thought. But please welcome Sishii.
Hey.
You know I'm saying your name like Sishii because there's just more than one I.
I like that. I like that.
So for a lot of people who don't know, that is your actual surname, right? Yeah. How did we wind up at Sishii as like the mononym and also this kind of like addition of the I?
So thank you for having me, first of all. Everyone called me that when I was growing up because I was new at the school in grade 6 and they had known each other since like grade 3 or 4. And then there was this kid, like the most famous kid in the school has the same name as me.
Which is Ndobeko.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they say to me, okay, we're going to call you, so we call him Into, you know, and then we're going to call you Into 2. And I said, no chance. I'm not the second one. Either I'm the first one or you call me something else completely. And they were like, okay, Sishii, we'll just call it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then they called me Sishii.
That's so interesting. Did you go to a school where like rugby is the main sport?
Oh, for sure, of course.
Okay, because exactly. It's very...
Into. They called him Into. They're like, we'll call you Into 2. I was like, nah. Just call me my surname. And then when I was deciding on a stage name, I had quite a lot of... I don't think I've ever said this. I thought of like Spanish names and like weird, just anything, you know. Like El Nino was gonna call myself
El Nino.
I was like, it means the boy, you know, which I thought was pretty cool. And
then what kind of music were you making as El Nino? Because I know you've gone through a journey to kind of
folk music, you know, on the guitar.
El Nino on the guitar.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It sounds cool, I think. But then my friends were like, nah, dude, that's weird. Like, nothing's wrong with Sishii. Like, everyone calls you Sishii already. So I was like, yeah, actually. Then I added the I at the end just to stylize it.
Okay.
Because obviously a lot of people have the surname Sishii. Yeah. So I don't want people confusing me with anyone else. The I at the end just stylizes it and makes it.
Yeah. It's such a dope, like, mononym. Because I think sometimes it's hard to be like, I have no surname. This is me. It's like Prince.
Yes,
Cher,
exactly. Beyonce,
and,
Adele. They have like one.
Yeah. Do you think I can get away with just being Helen? That's it.
I think so.
I think maybe it also depends on the rooms I'm in.
I think it's a dope name though.
But people always want to be like, oh, like Zilla.
But
and when I was like a baby, they'd be like, oh, like Suzman.
Oh, there are some really famous Helens. But I mean, your double barrel surname also makes it sound more like, what can I say, like mysterious and like deep and profound. Sounds like you have like a lot of profound things to say.
It sounds like a mouthful.
It does, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to think of Alan Edgar Poe, you know?
Oh, okay.
You know? So Helen Herimbi-Moremi. Sorry, I just want to say it right. I was looking at your book. You even have a book, bro. That's crazy.
We do. I'm so proud of that book. But dope. Something that's like similar in our journeys is that I also started a new school in grade 6. And I thoroughly hated that year. I think in general, school wasn't my thing. But I thoroughly hated that year because obviously everybody already knows each other. You've got like,
Yes,
you're in grade
exactly.
6, but you've got a year left of this school and then your life's gonna change again. And nobody was trying to call me any cool things. Like when I got to the school, there were notes being passed around in class. And eventually I saw the note and someone had written like, that they think I look like the abominable snowman.
What's the abominable? That doesn't sound good.
There's things you don't know. What's the big 5?
I do know what the big 5. Come on, she thinks
I'll tell you later what that's about.
I don't know the big 5. The abominable snowman.
Yeah, basically they thought I was ugly. I was like hideous.
Oh, that's.
Which is fine. Joke's on you. I'm on camera now.
Exactly.
But yeah, like just going back to those formative years for you, like. Obviously, you spoke a little bit about like wanting to be El Nino, making folk music. You're in the school that's very like rugby oriented, and I think there's a lot of subtext in there. But like, what kind of music are you listening to, and at what point do you think I should make music?
So this is primary school. In primary school, I listened to a lot of hip hop. I listened to a lot of Lil Wayne. The Carter 3 had just dropped. So
what a great album!
Oh my word! So the Carter 3 dropped, Amelie, and then Hey Mr. Carter. All those songs dropped, and my friends and I think obviously, like you're saying, the subtext of not just rugby school, but I think guys in general, when we're in primary school, were very much like, I listen to Lil Wayne and I listen to stuff like, that's considered to be masculine. Yeah. So I listened to a lot of that in primary. And then it was in high school that I stumbled, I don't know how, I don't remember how, but I stumbled on folk music.
Okay.
So in primary, it was hip hop, and we used to rap. We used to do like freestyles and like battle rap even.
Yeah. What was your rap name? Because I know what your folk name was. What was your rap name?
C-Dog. So S-I, dog. And the S-I was an exclamation mark, and the S was a dollar sign because I was trying to get that money,
I feel you.
And dog was spelled D-A-W-G, not dog. So
even your demeanor just changed, like telling me.
C-Dog, Yeah, C-Dog, that was also my Mix It name. Mix It?
I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like, I know Mix It.
I have to check. Yeah, so C-Dog was my name. And we battle rap, and yeah, we were so stupid. We were kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then like your palette changed, right?
Yes.
And then you just kind of felt like, oh, I can do different types of music.
Yes,
I don't have to just be a rapper.
Yeah, so from grade 8 to grade 9, I would say that was around the time when dance music started becoming quite like party music. In the 2010s, it was that big party wave that started with like Kesha and David Guetta, and started listening to a lot of that stuff. And then I started branching off into what people consider white people music. And which is
all music is our music.
Yeah, right. It's so then I started listening to a lot of that, and then I stumbled on folk, and then I was like, this is amazing, and it was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
That was life-changing for me. I mean, obviously hip-hop, huge part of it, but I'd say when I listened to folk music, I was like, oh my word. And then I started learning the guitar.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I stopped learning guitar in high school because my cousin bought a guitar. He was just into it. And the minute like my fingers hit the strings, I was like...
It's painful. You're literally cutting your fingers.
And he was like, yeah, you'll just get used to it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
No, you're cutting your fingers. And then there's bar chords. For me, I stopped at bar chords because there's the normal chords that you can play that cuts here, and then you play the bar chords where you put your whole finger, and now your whole finger's getting it. Then I stopped. That's when I stopped.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't be me. I actually want to skip ahead to one of the songs that I feel like sounds a little bit like you were bringing that C-Dog out. Because obviously we're going to talk about Alt Boy, right? Like that's, I think, really the one that I want to unpack. But a song called Demons. FU 2016 is a pretty strong...
First line?
Yes.
I like that, yeah, good.
But it feels like this kind of like bravado of like, I survived that.
Yeah.
So for people who may only know you from TV and are like, what's Demons? And are gonna go look this up. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Yes, Demons dropped in 2021, I think, my first project. That song was about, so in 2016, I was like super suicidal.
Yeah.
And it was my first year of university. And I was thrust into a new world with new ways of doing things in Cape Town. I'd grown up my whole life in Durban and Pretoria, but this was my first time in Cape Town.
Yeah.
I had no friends and I was finding friends, trying to form friendships with people. But I spent quite a lot of time alone for the first time. Because when you're home, you don't really get much time alone. Growing up in a black household, you're always with, you're always doing this and that and chores. Now I'm actually spending time alone. I'm in a res room. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't like what I'm studying, but I'm going to do it because, hey man, like I've just got to make my guardians happy or make my aunt and uncle happy. So
what were you studying?
Economics and finance. I did finish though, just saying.
I mean, amazing.
Well. But yeah, so I was really struggling, like mentally. Like I just couldn't find a reason. Like, what am I doing here? I don't actually understand what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do with my life. I know I want to impact people through the performing arts. I know that, but I know I'm never going to do that. And I had said, I know I'm never going to do that, and it's okay. So then for the longest time, I was like, is it really okay though? You know what your dream is, you know what you can achieve, but you know you're not going to do it because you've got to do whatever it takes to, I don't know, make other people happy.
Was that validation what was driving the I'm not going to do my passion? Or was it like, I need to have a job to have money? Like, what was the...
It was a bit of both. It was definitely that my aunt and uncle would be proud of me. That was the biggest thing. But then beyond that, it was also, like how many artists are out here actually making money from this? And, so yeah, I mean, I digress, but I ended up then deciding to figure out how to merge business and arts. But anyways, point is 2016 was a rough year, like trying to find myself and really not doing so. Like I really didn't. My relationship with God also took a huge knock that year. In that I was like, actually, I don't see the point in all of this. I don't see the point in this, having a relationship with God. And I was just sad. I was so sad. But I was only able to write about it 4 or 5 years later. I take a long time to process something. So yeah, Demons is about that year, about not being able to sleep, about literally staying up at night and contemplating,
not being
ending my life and stuff. So yeah, that's what that song's about. But what got me through it mainly was my friends who I ended up finding. And that's why I mentioned my TBC, Ngeke. So those are my friends who have really gotten me through quite a lot in life.
What is TBC? Because I thought maybe it's like a drug,
Oh, no. THC is a drug.
There's subtext here.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're TBC is the bowling club. The bowling club is, well, my friends and I, this is the first time I've ever explained this. This is the first time I've ever spoken about this, actually. My friends and I would bond, I guess, through going bowling. We'd go bowling. It was a cheap activity to do. We're students, so we're broke. We weren't popping bottles in the club. We would just go bowling. Not that we're all great at it or that we're amazing at it, but it was just a way in which we would have fun and just laugh and then go home. So yeah, we decided to call ourselves the Bowling Club as a group of friends, and then I decided to name my company after that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which houses all my intellectual property and exploits it, and secures all the sync licenses for me and the radio playlisting, and that's why on all my songs at the bottom the record label is TBC Records. Yeah,
that's so amazing. Because look at what low point you were in like 2016
Yeah.
and like how you've been able to like flip that. Yeah. And speaking of flips, it feels to me like the flip side of demons is Somandla, right? And obviously, what?
No, I'm just laughing because I've never thought of it like that.
So
But
tell
yeah.
me how we got to Somandla and what was behind it, because I know earlier you said your relationship with God also took a knock in 2016.
Yes.
And I mean, for people who don't speak the language, you're talking to God, right? Yeah.
So, Somandla I wrote with my friend actually, who's also TBC, James, and he's also got a music career of his own. That
nice.
He's making really good music. Shout out to Jean-Paul James. Anyways, so we wrote that song while I was signed. I was trying to make some more Afro beat stuff. And he's really good at the Afro stuff. So, because I really wasn't well versed in that. So then I was like, let's have a session, and found a loop online. And yeah, we just wrote a song, and we're like, it actually this feels like quite a like uplifting kind of melody. So let's talk about God. So I'd say my relationship with God only really started in 2022. Beginning of 2022 is when I was like, nah, look, this is not working for me. This thing of like just getting through life by just getting through it and chasing the next thing and chasing the next. I'm always asking, and then I'm gonna make this much money doing this, and then I'm gonna be in a movie that's number one. And then I'm always asking that.
Yeah.
And the answer is always death. I'm gonna die. So I'm always like, so then what happens after that? Was that it? Was that the point? So for the longest time I started asking that question again, and then it essentially drew me back to God.
That's amazing. I also love just like the triumphant energy of it, because I mean, like you said, it's more Afro beats, it's more like dance oriented and whatever. And it kind of makes me think about, like, obviously from your journey, there's some hip hop in there, there is folk, there is Afro beats, and now there's alt boy, right? And I think for the most part, you've been trying to kind of navigate like where it is you're going sonically, and then to say like, I'm going to stamp alternative, because I'm assuming alt is alternative.
Yes.
I'm going to stamp alternative next to my name. Take me through like why you decided like this is actually my identity.
Because like I said, I was in primary school with primary school with hip hop, listening to the stuff that I felt, a masculine young man should be listening to. Then I discovered something that was so personal to me, which was folk music, that I couldn't tell my friends. You know that song that if you're on aux and you go on shuffle and then it mistakenly plays a song, you go, whoa, let me...
Like, how did that get there?
And then your friends go, hey, whoa, what was that, bro? Play that back. What are you doing? No, don't turn it off. That vibe. So those songs for me were Bon Iver, primarily, actually. The songs that I would listen to and look out the window on our way to our rugby match. I'd be looking out the window and everyone's fighting and having scuffles and doing initiations and whatever. And I'm looking out the window thinking, man, no one understands me. All teenagers think that, So those are the songs that got me through the no one understands me, only I do, and I have myself. So because of how personal that was, I just was really uncomfortable to share it. And then I hate the term the culture, but I just felt like the culture wouldn't accept that.
Who's the culture? I just want to understand.
I'd say the culture of people who look like me, who grew up like me, people I feel like I could relate to and form a community with.
Okay.
And yeah, people I would want to form a community with because we look the same and we have the same experiences.
Yeah.
But now I can't share this part of me because I know they're going to go, oh, you're actually kind of weird, dude. We don't like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was that fear of the people I'm like come on guys, like listen to my music. Them going, no, this is really weird, dude.
Yeah.
We're not into this.
Yeah.
That fear carried me for quite a number of years. And then I would say, when was it? There was a role I did earlier on this year where I was playing a jazz prodigy.
Oh, really?
The movie's not out yet.
Okay.
But I'm playing a jazz prodigy and I had to learn 5-6 instruments. But like in the space, like a really short amount of time.
Like just learning how to play the basics of...
Yes. And
what did you learn?
Guitar, drums, the harmonica, the trumpet was actually a big one in that, and the flute.
That's wild.
Yes, so those 5.
You can just cut those things in and post. Like,
yeah, I mean, I hope they make it look like I'm, know what I'm doing. I don't know if I did a good job, but, but so the guitar was the main thing.
Okay.
Because they were like, what can you at least? And I was like, well, I can play like 3 chords on the guitar. And they were like, okay, let's run with that as the main instrument. And then I really got into it again. Started playing the guitar again, started learning new things on the guitar, and I was like, okay, cool. So it was through that role that I was like, guys, I really love the guitar. Like, why have I been saying I don't want to? And there was a phase where I hated it.
Yeah.
You ask Milan, I hated it so much. I just wanted keys, I wanted chords, I wanted gospel sounding things, And he was like, no, just put on some guitar. I was like, no. Guitar means folk. Guitar means, being ostracized by, which is it's silly. But then I'd say this year, I was like, actually, I really enjoy this way this instrument sounds, the electric and the acoustic. And that was when my friend Abo, who I write with a lot, he also learned the guitar. He can do everything though. So he was playing the guitar and I was like, we could write to that, We keep saying, let's not lean into this. Why don't I lean into this? Because growing up, this is all I actually listened to. Like I really enjoyed this stuff. And then, one of the first songs I wrote was Ngeke from that. And the first time me playing the guitar myself, I'm not really doing a great job, but the emotion that was captured through that recording, I was like, I really want to write something to this, and I don't know, maybe it'll mean something to someone out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it clearly did. So that was really cool. It's like the song at the show where I don't even sing and everyone's singing for me. It's crazy. I
was actually going to say, I think that's my favorite song of yours.
Yeah.
It might have been the first song of yours that I heard, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Who's that? And I think part of it is like how you just sound like you really mean it. Like, I'm not going back. I'm like, not doing that.
Yes.
So when you were writing the song, like, what mind state were you in? Is it a personal song?
Yeah. So that song is about what we just spoke about.
Okay.
About me picking up a guitar and it being less about me picking up a guitar and more about me saying, actually, I'm not gonna make music that makes me feel like I'm part of some sort of culture when I know what personally speaks to me more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm actually done doing that. I'm tired and I don't want to go back to that. So obviously it is a love story, the song. It is a song about heartbreak, but I would say it's beyond that. It's beyond like a song about a girl who broke my heart. No. It's literally about feeling like I need to feel like I'm a part of a culture.
Yeah.
And realizing that all it is a lot of people who look the same and sound the same and try to be the same when deep down inside they're not that.
Yeah.
And so when I put out Ngeke, the response for me was, it was obviously very humbling, but I was like, okay, there we go. So yeah, you do want to hear songs like this. You're lying. Like, you're just not going to play this when you're auxing because it's not going to make you look cool.
Yeah.
But when you go home and you're staring at your ceiling and you've got your AirPods in, or, you're going to be listening to this.
Yeah.
That's who you are though. It's not who you present yourself. And for me, that's what it's about. Stop presenting yourself a certain way. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what the song's about.
Did it make you feel like, man, I should have done this earlier? Like, do you have any regrets that you're living with?
No.
Okay.
I obviously have thoughts where I'm like, I am all over the place. I do feel like I'm all over the place all the time. Acting, and now you're saying you're a musician. No, we don't want to see you make music. We want to see you on screen. Okay, and then let's listen to the music. But what is this music? Wait, aren't you an R&B artist who wrote like Either Way? And like, so then what are you doing? What is this, like Jersey Club, So a lot of the time I do have those thoughts where I'm like, maybe I should like narrow it down and just focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to. I don't want to. I just want to tell the truth of like where I'm at when I feel what I feel.
Yeah.
So even though I have had that thought of maybe I should have, what if I stuck with the guitar and I didn't put it down for like 10 years? Imagine I'd be such a great player now. But hindsight's not going to do anything for me. I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't written all those other songs that I think now are trash. But I'm going to keep them out because, they resonate with people.
Yeah.
But
and they made you, like, they helped you on this journey.
Yeah. It sucks though. I want to take everything down.
No, don't do
I always
that.
tell my manager, I'm like, Milan, bro, please. He's like, no. I'm like, please.
I think it shows your evolution, and it also like marks a moment in time for you. I think because you've already started speaking about acting a little bit, Gomorrah was your big breakout, right? Like that people became like, oh, we recognize this guy, right? And for me, I feel like you bringing in your music side just makes your story richer, right? And it also, only because you have a song with this name, which we'll talk about in a moment, but it also makes me think about people like Pam Andrews, who like obviously got onto this reality show. She became a musician and she became like really famous, really popular. And I would even say like it kind of trapped her into like the fame monster, right? But then she started acting as well. And people really respected her for her acting. When you think about like the way, especially South Africans, feel like they own you when you're on their screens.
Yeah.
And you're doing this music that you kind of felt a little bit like, should I not? Does it make you feel like actually now sky's the limit?
Absolutely. It was really hard I'd say the biggest challenge was not convincing people that I can act or that I can make music. It was convincing them that I can do both.
Yeah.
Well. So I remember I lost like quite a lot of followers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After it was I Don't Dance that I dropped last year, and I was like clowning, doing some shoulder thing on TikTok, and then I also just started posting just my sense of humor, the kind of jokes I like, which is dark humor, awkward humor. That's that's how I laugh and get a laugh out of my situation. And yeah, a lot of people are like, what is this guy doing? Like, why are you doing? Are you okay? A lot of people are asking me like, are you okay? I get like phone calls and messages saying, is everything okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Like, I'm actually expressing myself and it's making you ask me if I'm okay. It's interesting because the people who are not okay, like when I wasn't okay, I wasn't expressing myself.
Yeah.
The people who are not okay are actually not expressing themselves. Those are the people you need to check on.
Yeah.
Not the people who are, making funny videos online and have a very quirky sense of humor. But anyways, point is convincing people that, I do this too. And I do this. Like, it's not like it's like a side gig or side hustle. No, I do this.
Yeah.
Was hard.
Yeah.
It reminded me of when there was this, one of the Avengers is actually a musician as well. And he makes good music. And I remember watching his Hawkeye.
Okay.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is too. He has a whole album out, Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm talking about Hawkeye now. The Jeremy Renner dropped a song and had like millions of. I was like, what? And he's playing the guitar. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
But it's a bit. It's like I don't know, I'm having a really hard time reconciling it because you're a Hawkeye to me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so that made me understand that, okay, like as people, we do struggle to, you know, we do want, like, if this is the lane I've established you in and I want to see you in this light, this is the light I'm going to see you in.
Yeah.
And if you now say that I want you to see me in this light, it's really difficult for me to change that in my mind, even if it's good, even if it sounds cool. So for me, it just made me understand that more. And so when I was losing like followers and people going, oh, this is bad music, your music is trash, I was actually like, oh no, our taste is just different. Simply that.
And the people who like it will come.
Yes. And for me, it was like I enjoyed it. It felt like a purge, like just cleansing out the people who box me in a certain way and leaving behind the people who go, nah, we're championing this too. Like, let's go. For me, it was really important. I was never going to know that if I didn't start putting out the weird music and doing weird things on social media where I'm like being awkward and stuff, you know? So for me, it was really helpful. But it was hard because I was like, oh no, like, you know, I want my music to do bigger numbers and I wanted to reach the numbers I have on social media and it's not, and you know, but over time it's building now. So because the right people are coming along now.
Yeah. And I think also because people are listening, right? Because even with Ngeke, you explained a little bit about like how it reflects the specific time in your life, right? But the average listener would be like what you said, it's a love song or it's a relationships song. And I feel like with songs like that, you can just be like, oh, it's about relationships and then move on, right? But with like Pamela Interlude, for example, it makes me think, what was happening here? And I really enjoy that you mark the years as well. Like we spoke about 2016 Demons, but 2005 specifically is the anchor here. Can you talk, or if you want to, are you able to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I have said before, so I don't usually like to explain songs. I've actually never explained songs as much as I have.
Oh, you're on the wrong show with it.
Hey, let me get out of here. Yeah, Pamela's by my mom. 2005. For me, it's like, the thing is, I don't like to explain a song like that. It's really personal, not for me, but for the listener. I've come to realize that they're like a couple songs, you know, even Ngeke, I'm like, I shouldn't have explained what it means to me, but it's fine. Like, for me, the point is for you to take a song and make it your own. It's yours now. So I don't want you to listen to it and go, oh, you know, Sishii was talking about, oh, now every time I listen to it, I'm thinking about how Sishii was talking about. I don't want you to do that. I want you to listen to it and go, yo, my like I get messages saying, yo, my next door neighbor passed away, or my grandmother passed away, and this is what's been getting me through it. So I like the purity of that. I like that it's yours and you get to decide what it means for you, and not, oh, for Sishii, this is what it meant. Like, for me, it's just expressing myself and then letting other people express themselves through it. So all I'll say, it's about my mom, but like explaining, I'm like, the lyrics are quite self-explanatory.
Okay.
So,
I think I completely understand where you're coming from. And for songs where like the title is not someone's name, I think you can be like, oh, it's up to interpretation. So that's why I ask, because it feels very specific. But I also think like something musicians tend to do a lot of, and it's you guys is right, is to kind of like have this public diary. So you know what you're talking about and you're expressing yourself, but you're also hiding. You're also like, I don't want to be that vulnerable, but I literally just told you
everything.
So it's like, but if you know, you know.
Exactly. That's I don't know. I like that. I like that. If you dig deep enough, if you just read the lyrics, actually, they're like, because there was a girl I was talking to, and she was like, oh, who's Pamela? And I was like, okay, but I don't know.
Like, has she heard the song?
I'm like, have you read the lyrics? Like, no, it sounds like sweet and stuff. I'm like, okay. You see, that's why I'm like, you don't deserve an explanation.
Okay, fair.
There's certain people who, if you're going to read the lyrics and really implore and you know, and then like I can tell, like at my shows, I actually do say, this song is about this. Cool, let's get into it.
Okay.
But yeah, for those who are gonna be like, oh, who's Pamela? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain it. Read the damn lyrics, dog. Oh, it's right there. So
Even in your like
Yeah.
it just annoys you. You can tell.
yeah. I'm like, nah.
2 a.m. sounds like it's a significant time for you. Are you an owl? Like, are you
I used to be.
okay?
I'm not anymore.
Because I feel like on songs like Speeding,
Yeah.
and other parts in Alt Boy, it feels like you're always out and about, or something is happening at 2.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, like I said, I mean, my songs are very backward looking, as in like, yo, there was a time in my life when we used to do this, and yo, there's a vibe. Since I started working on Gomorrah, you know, I'd have to wake up at 4:30, 5 a.m. You know, sleep by 10. So that night owl changed. I'd say since 2020, I've definitely changed in that. Unless I'm working night scenes and I have to wake up at 6 p.m. and go to sleep at 5. But in terms of what you're talking about now, yeah, in university, we were definitely owls. Yeah.
TBC.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
Speeding, am I understanding correctly that it's like someone racing through your mind?
Yes.
How do you, I guess, navigate that, especially as someone who is likely to put this in a song? Like, how do you, because I mean, I think there would be some hesitation to be like, I'm talking to you in this romantic setting, but is it going to end up in like, yeah.
So you're saying, how do I navigate?
Like your I guess those obsessive thoughts, like how do you decide, okay, this is going to become a song? Or like, how do you decide what doesn't become a song?
So yeah, I don't, when I'm going through something, I go through it.
Okay.
So, you know, that's the biggest thing for me, just go through it. And then the right song will come one day.
Okay.
And that's probably why a lot of my songs are very like, yo, this was me 5 years ago. This was me like 10 years ago. This is because I know artists who like sit and document, okay, I just went through this experience, so I'm going to document this and then I'm going to talk about it in real time. For me, I go through it. Like I live life, I go through it, and then we sit and we make it. For me, it's got to serve the melody. The story must serve the melody. So melody for me comes first.
Interesting.
And if we stumble on an incredible melody, and oh, there's a story from that I think will make sense, or there's a person I was talking to and they were like this, or you know, my friend once told me about this, and so yeah, I live and I allow myself to live and experience stuff, and then when the right song comes, it will come.
Yeah.
When the right melody comes, it'll come. Yeah.
What's your process like? Do you is this the Loiso that I'm thinking about that you wrote the song with? Is it Loiso
That I wrote the song with?
Yeah, I feel like in the credits there's a Loiso.
Which song?
Speeding.
Oh, that's Tabi. That's James. That's James.
Oh, is there another Loiso that you wrote with? Where did I see
No.
Loiso?
So James's full name is shame. I'm sorry, dog. But it's in the credits. It's his second name is Loiso. Let me just say that. Yeah,
I see. Okay, cool, got it.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about little things, right? Because for me, and maybe this is a reach, but like there's a part where you're singing about like petals at her feet and stuff, right? And it conjures up coming to America for me.
Oh, really?
I'm grown.
No, I know coming to America too. But
do you
yes,
really?
I do.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, clearly it's a reach then because you weren't thinking about that. But like, tell me about that song and like writing it and.
Yeah, Little Things, the melody came first. And it just felt like a really beautiful picture. Like, it felt sunny, which is unlike most of the songs I had written in the past.
Yeah.
You know, the songs I did in the past were all really dark, and I've got some really dark songs. But this felt like summer, you know, It felt like a picnic, you know, you're in love. Yeah, you know. Yeah, so it's something I have gone through. Yeah, and the song was about someone. Yeah.
I love that you brought up summer, right? Because you're saying let's vibe,
Yeah.
you know, and linking that to summer, right? But you also have a song called Vibe on Alt Boy.
Yeah.
And
Hey, boss. Hey, bro, the way you...
I know, it's almost like I used to be a writer.
Yeah, right?
But like when I hear that song, and especially when I hear men be like bestie, I feel like, hey, this is hectic friend zone vibes. This is like, it's a summer fling. It's for right now.
Yeah.
Not a long time. It's for a good time. Am I reading that correctly? That like vibe specifically is like, it's for December.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, yeah, all I want to see is my bestie. All I want is my bestie. I'm with my dogs, but the dogs are not my bestie. I want to see my bestie. Yeah, it's very much like yo, I'm so
Friends
in
with
love. I'm
benefits.
so in love with this person right now, which is infatuation, you know, because being in love with someone that much right now isn't really love, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more infatuation, but it's just like, dude, I want to see, I want to groove with you. I want to dance with you. Yeah. It's definitely more of a fling.
Yeah.
I'd say. But at the time, it doesn't feel like that.
Oh, I mean, it won't.
Yes. At the time, you're like, oh, you're my best friend. I want to dance with you and stuff. And then afterwards, you go, oh, man.
And January rolls around and you're like, oh, I'm in my right mind now. I'm not that interested. And speaking of minds, like you want to be talked out of your mind.
Yes.
Why?
So the thing about mental health is it's a lifelong thing.
Yes.
Right. It's not like a physical scar where you put a plaster over it and then in a couple of weeks' time it heals and it's gone forever. It's an injury that you get from when you were a kid and you deal with it for the rest of your life. You find ways to cope with it, overcome it. And so who's gonna talk me out of my mind is like demons, pretty much, except not triumphant. Whereas demons is like, triumphant, I'm messing up my demons. This is like, who's gonna talk me out of my mind? I don't know. Who's gonna talk you out of your mind? I might. I mean, you might hear the song and it might help you, because I do get messages from people saying that they're also having thoughts and urges, and they listen to the music and then it talks them out of it. So I actually wrote that song for the people who say that. So who's gonna talk me out of my mind? There's no answer. But who's gonna talk you out of your mind? I might. Okay. So that's what that chorus is about.
Okay.
But the song is like, I wanted it to be upbeat. I wanted it to have the da 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 da. It feels like happy.
Because you're tricking people.
Yes, but it's not happy. That might be one of the, no, not might be. That's one of the darkest songs I've written. If you actually read the lyrics, yeah.
It also like just kind of feels like what depression is, right? Like when people typically think about a depressed person, they think the person is moping.
Yes.
But usually no, it's the person who's laughing up a storm.
Yeah.
It's the class clown. It's other people who you would never say like, that person looks depressed, right?
Yes.
And I think also the thing that's interesting about who's going to talk me out of my mind is it feels like you're outsourcing your help, which I don't think like in 2024 people want.
Yes,
to
exactly.
do.
Exactly. Because that's why there's no answer.
Yeah.
Who's going to talk me out of my mind? Who's going to talk me out of my mind? Who's going to talk you out of your mind? I might. But for me, it's like, who's going to talk me out of my... I asked the question, but there's no real answer.
Yeah.
There's no one who can. When you're seeing red, you're seeing red.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you're saying about it reflecting. I really love that song. It's one of the first songs on my set list because And like, you know, there's songs like When I Get Lonely, there's songs that are really like sad, like, oh my word, this person is, you know, depressed. Those songs don't really make me feel like everything is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Those songs make me feel like, yo, I'm sad. And because I'm one of those sad music listeners when I'm sad. So when I'm, you know, it used to be like, when I'm sad, I want to listen to like Kendrick Lamar's You and how he's depressed and angry. And then over time, like I actually stopped like growing up, you know, being the grown old person that I am now.
The old person.
I've found it better to listen to happy music. Like I like listening to Afrotech and you know, even when I'm feeling low, like it actually uplifts me now. Yeah. So Who's Gonna Talk Me Out of My Mind sounds nice acoustically, but you know, Jaden came in and made it sound happy, clappy, and a lot of people don't understand it. And that's another thing I like about it. It's so weird. I would say it's the weirdest song I have out. It's definitely the weirdest song I have out.
Yeah. Music is really powerful, man. Like, and I would really encourage anyone who, if you're feeling low, like, don't listen to low music, because then you just sink deeper and deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole. There's a girl I follow on social, and she always does dancing for dopamine. And her whole account is just, she's dancing for a minute to whatever she likes. And she encourages people to just like, if you see me on your page, just join me in the dance and then scroll to the next thing. And I think that stuff is so helpful to be like, what are you listening to? How are you guarding your heart? Like, those things might be helpful. I know we're going to run out of time, but before we do, you went on this quest to put out 52 songs this year, but you had to pause it a little bit. So how many songs were there? What are you going to do with the songs? Like, what is your vision? What was your idea?
Okay, so the idea was that I want to do something that I don't know any other artist is doing right now in this country. And it is to be consistent. I noticed that this whole thing of looking forward to one big album, the album drops, and then for the next couple of weeks, like, what are you doing, like, to promote it? And then it just dips, and then people forget about it, and you know, our attention spans are also like not as great anymore. Like, I was thinking about some of my favorite artists' albums prior to 2020. I don't know what happened in 2020. Something happened, but prior to 2020,
the Panini,
bruh. Before 2020, I would listen to an album for years. I'd be like, yo, this album is... Then after 2020, the albums that have dropped, I'll listen to for like a couple, and I'll obsess for like a couple months, maybe at a stretch. And then I don't really go back to that album anymore. And so for me, one of the things I wanted to just start practicing is how I listen to music now, which is not really albums as much anymore. I listen to songs. I like this song. I add it to a playlist, and then I create my own album essentially through this playlist of this artist and this artist and this artist. And so I just wanted to give people the opportunity to do that too, because this is how I listen to music now. So putting out a song every single week, and letting the song promote the last song. The song that comes out next week promotes the last song, and just kind of that knock-on effect. And it was working. But I had to stop because I got an acting job.
Nice.
Yeah, so I paused. I put out 15, which that's a significant amount of songs, you know. And people are like, "No, how dare you? Give us another song." And then the listenership dropped because they were like, "No, we want more." I'm like, guys, I put out 15 songs.
I mean, you did say though that like I want to do this consistently.
It's definitely.
Try again in January.
I'm definitely. I already have. I have a lot right now that I'm sitting on.
That's awesome.
So many different genres. I have an Afrotech song. I previewed it on my Instagram yesterday. I have like even weirder songs where I'm doing weirder things with my voice, and
so just being yourself.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I also love like you explaining why, like how you listen to music after 2020. Because I think I'm not quite in the same space as you, but for me, like artists and music that makes me go, is really like where my heart is. Like I don't have the bandwidth to listen to everything. So if I like listen to something and it makes me go, I want to know more, like that's kind of where I want to stay for a little bit. So thank you for coming through today.
Cool.
But what has made you go, this week?
This week, there's an artist actually I was listening to. His name is Humble the Great.
Oh.
He's
South African artist?
Really, I don't think so. No, I think he's British.
Okay.
He's really good.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to his project. So that's the kind of vibe that there's only 3 artists who made me go, like in the past couple of years actually, who I've listened to their albums like religiously.
Okay, so now I gotta know the other 2.
The other 3, Jordan Ward, McGee, and Dijon.
Okay.
Those
I'm gonna have to
I
go
saw
look up
McGee live
those
as well.
people.
I was
Really?
in LA, yeah. Amazing.
Like you went there to go see him?
No, I went there to visit my friends, but
Okay.
he was performing live while I was there. So
That's dope.
Yeah. So I'd say I hear what you're saying in the thing, that there's a lot of music. There's more music now than there's ever been. So to stand out, like you've got to just be yourself, dude. Just like do that weird thing. Like I always tell like artists to ask me like, hey dude, how do you do it, whatever. The very song on your phone that you listen to, that you know at the function you're not gonna play on aux because they're gonna say, bruh, you're weird.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
If it's like in your top 5 most listened, go look at your top 10, top 20 most listened to songs, and there's songs there that you go, this one though, that's you. Make that.
So I'm a really aggressive rapper.
Oh yeah.
Like
So what do you listen to?
That means?
What are you? So what are you listening to? Glorilla and what?
No.
Oh, you said aggressive. So
Is she aggressive?
I agree. I agree, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Doesn't sound passive to me.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Oh, what's aggressive?
You know, like very violent music. Like, I think if you had to just do the Helen radio,
okay,
you would.
I want to hear the Helen radio now.
Definitely not.
I really want to hear it.
I'm not putting in the aux at the function.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Sure.
I'm really excited to see what else comes from the future. Or
Cool.
how many videos left after? What's 52 minus 15? However many
37.
songs. Yeah,
37.
I'm keen
Yeah,
to hear.
37 left. Yeah. Let's do
Amazing.
it. Thank you. Thanks for
Sishii, everybody. I'm pretending there's an audience here.
Thanks for having me.